Welcome to Trail Mix, a fresh blend of what's happening at Rowan-Cabarrus Community College and in the world of higher education. It's everything you need to keep you informed, inspired, and as always, navigating forward. College is about a lot more than what happens in the classroom. It's the things you learn, yes, but it's also about the opportunities you find and the community you build. Today we're talking about student life at Rowan-Cabarrus, the clubs, the events, the opportunities to lead, and the organization that ties it all together, the Student Government Association. We've got our new SGA president, a student life coordinator, and the director of adult learners and student engagement programs, and we're getting into what all of this actually means for students on campus. I'm your host, Carter Wingfield, and I'm joined by Nicky Robinson, Jaworski Sartin, and Dr. Carrie Graham. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Excited to be here.
Thank you for having me, Carter.
Thanks, Carter.
So, Nicky, let's start with you, and let's start at the beginning. When you first got involved in student life at Rowan-Cabarrus, what made you want to get more involved?
The choice to become more active in campus life and student life came from a choice through work study. I got to a point where I was either going to be able to continue my education or I would feed my family and help support my home. And I kind of mentioned that to one of the navigation station ladies, shout out Miss Kathy, and she was like, hold on, you don't have to quit. And she sent me to financial aid. And so I went to financial aid and they were like, you know who can help you? Student life. And I was under Barb at the time. I don't know what she saw. She saw me before I knew me. And she really was like, here, try it. Don't be scared. And I guess she saw what I was capable of because I really kind of took initiative. And then when I kind of fell into it, she asked me what my thoughts were about SGA. And I didn't know anything about it. And she kept pushing that and learn about it. Okay, well, I'll look. And I wanted like an entry level. So public information officer was kind of mirrored ambassador. So it wasn't much, but I mean, it was something enough to get me to say I did it, I tried, and then I kind of really got into the swing of it. And I really enjoyed the purpose, and I really enjoyed the help, and I really enjoyed the support, and I really enjoyed all these things that just really lit something in me to go further. And, you know, and then I did VP and I got it. Now, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't walking on cloud nine. You know, like, I'm capable. Wait a minute. I'm capable. And then it clicked. And it's just really been a journey to learn myself, to learn how much I enjoy doing what I do for others while obtaining the education and the resources to be able to do it outside of here. And it's just kind of been a snowball ever since. Yeah.
So just that one person at the nav station, Kathy, just started that
She
snowball.
pointed me in the right direction, and every person, every point just filled me up with, you know what, we get it. Don't worry. Yeah. Because we have choices. We have options for you.
What was your first involvement with student life?
I was their voting ambassador.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. What does that role entail?
Helping educate our students about the importance of voting and how it might not feel like one voice will matter, but when you accumulate all those one voices, how it makes a difference and how they act, all of these votes, especially our local elections, how they impact us personally as students. I just thought that was definitely the place for me to be.
That's awesome. When I was first stepping into college, I did not know the importance of voting, especially at the local level.
Neither did I as an adult.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, voting ambassador. Is there still that role that's continued?
Probably falls more in line with our public information officer.
Helps get the word out.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot of words that need to get out. So.
Voting is one of many.
Voting is one of the many things that we need to talk about here.
Yeah, y'all practice that at the SGA Student Government Association. Y'all practice the act of voting there, correct?
They gave us the resources that others needed, like just to register, how to register, how you would align, tests to give about how you align politically. And so they can choose how they want to move forward and vote. But just vote.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it does feel like my vote will just get lost, but you're right, when that collective vote, they add up and they're very important. So,
They do.
yeah, I think this past primary election, there was an actual tie for a position in Mount Pleasant. There was literally a tie for a spot. So
bonkers.
every vote literally matters.
Does.
So
Absolutely.
it is that close sometimes. So, all right. So Dr. Graham, welcome. You've been here a couple months now.
I have.
You're stepping into the role of Director of Adult Learner and Student Engagement Programs.
Yes.
And that sounds like a mouthful right there. So we're going to break that down in just a second. But what drew you to that position, and how does this role connect with students?
Oh, thank you for having me. It is truly an honor to be here and share the mic with Nicky, our SGA president. And she is the epitome of one of the reasons that I wanted to be a part of the college. As a local community member for a few years, I recognized the importance of contributing to my local community, and given my 30 years in higher education, I recognize that there are many students who either have the same or a very similar story to Nicky and need local access to higher education, hence the mission of the community college, and recognizing in all the years that I've worked with students, the challenges that they face are vast. Mm-hmm. And for many of them, the challenges aren't always academic. It is the sense of belonging. It is simply having access and understanding how to arrive at college. And as Nicky alluded to, being on the path and then having something happen that determines or causes the question of, this may not be a path for me forward. And so seeing the opportunity, it's an honor. It is truly an honor to be here and support students like our SGA president, Robinson, and other students at the college.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. It's not the barriers from the academic side, but it's the barriers of
life.
The life. Yeah.
Life gets
our
to life
students have lives.
Yes.
Like rent.
Yes.
Paying the electric bill. They have jobs.
Children.
They have, children.
Yeah.
They have parents sometimes that do that. There are so many reasons that can get in the way of a student finishing their degree. Their car broke down on the way to the first day to class. Mm-hmm. And
it's a sign.
I'll start next semester.
Yeah.
Right.
But having these departments here at the college, a student life organization, to help students be able to take those next steps regardless of whatever speed bumps they hit.
Absolutely. And quite honestly, Carter, I have to say, I've had a career across higher education at different traditional four-year colleges and universities, and this is my first stint in a community college, and it has truly helped me understand the model of community college is really just that. It is providing access to the individuals within that respective community. And how could you not want to be a part of that and support, especially if you live in the community?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. So Jaworski, as student activities coordinator, you're in the day-to-day of it. You see this on a daily basis, probably better than anybody here. So what does the student experience actually look like outside the classroom at Rowan-Cabarrus? Like the events, clubs, organizations, what's available to students that they might not know about?
Yeah, that's a good question, Carter. We are very intentional in the planning that we do for our students here. We align our programming for focus areas. We focus on life skills. We focus on leadership development, relationship building, career preparation. So we're more than just party and a pizza.
Which is great, though.
Which is great. And sometimes you're going to come, you're going to get a party, and you're going to get a pizza. But be assured, it is aligned to student outcomes. We're here to support our students in their academic journey. And so whatever that entails, we endeavor to do that. So to put a picture to it, it may look like growing professionally at a Lunch and Learn. It may look like food, fun, and entertainment at Fall Fest or Spring Fest. It may look like connecting with peers at a fantasy football draft.
Ooh.
And so we try to be creative in the ways that we engage students. And so it could also look like serving in a leadership position. You could be on the SGA board or serve as a student ambassador.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or are there leadership positions within the clubs themselves?
Yes, clubs have their own leadership structure, depending on the size of the club that determines the leadership structure for the club. But each club has a club senator who's a part of the SGA Senate. So we make sure that student voices are heard from those student organizations as well.
How do these clubs stay tied into what the community college is doing or the community as a whole? Are there opportunities for them to do more than show up once a month at a club meeting?
Absolutely. And so our club senators actually meet with the SGA board once a month to discuss initiatives. Our Student Government Association is very active in what happens here at our campus. Last year, they were very active in making sure that our student needs were met. One was the suspension of SNAP benefits. And our board put forth the motion to provide funding for the 3 food pantries on our campuses those are ran by our student wellness division. And so our students were very adamant about making sure that our students had what they need during that time.
Nicky, I see you shaking your head. Were you a part of that initiative with the SNAP benefits response?
I was vice president when we sat down and discussed that.
Yeah.
So I was excited to write that motion.
Did y'all see a big response from students?
There was a lot of appreciation that was spoken through the halls. I mean, we didn't get personal thank yous, but that there was help was the things that I think that we were looking for.
Right. But you saw them actually taking advantage of some of those resources.
No, it was amazing to see when we put that money into the pantry, how fast not only it went, because it wasn't just food, it was hygiene products, it was cleaning products so you can have a sanitary workstation at home while you're cooking. It was interesting to watch how quickly it depleted, to see the need that was actually there and how many students needed.
Yeah.
So it was definitely eye-opening.
Yeah.
It was humbling for sure.
So, Jaworski, what are some of the events that y'all host? What are students looking forward to this fall from Student Life?
We always kick off each semester with a welcome back. So you will see our faces at our welcome back events on all 5 of our campuses. One event that I would push students to not miss is our resource rally. That is where you can pop in and plug in and get connected with campus resources. We can't do what we do on our own. Oftentimes we partner with different divisions, departments, and units across our college. And so advising will be there. Trio support services will be there. Our student wellness center will be there. Clubs and student organizations will be there. Everybody will be there. It'll be the party.
Yeah.
It'll be a party for sure.
It's the big pizza party.
It is the big pizza party. So for a student who wants to get involved and doesn't know where to start, what's the easiest first step they can take?
The easiest step, one, make sure you're checking your college email. We send email updates weekly with all of our events for the week. Check your student planner for event dates and times. Check our school website. But if nothing else, if all else fails, email us at studentlife@rccc.edu and we will get you connected.
Yeah, awesome. So, Nicky, for you, what made you want to run for SGA president specifically?
That's a good question. I was definitely encouraged.
Yeah? By who?
By my student life folks, Amber King and Jaworski Sartin and Dr. Lipscomb and the last president, Jaleel.
So a lot of people.
A lot of people were definitely like, you can do it. And I was like, oh no, I don't know. But it just goes to show what kind of community you get here.
Yeah.
Everybody really pours into you, especially when you're trying. So that helped me. And then, civic engagement, we're able to help other students on the campus because I'm big on that outside of the campus. But our community is based here. And so being able to help take one more burden off of them to focus on education like people did for me during my education journey just feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
So sounds like you've had a lot of cheerleaders since you first walked onto campus.
Absolutely.
From Kathy at the nav station to Jaworski and Amber as you got involved with Student Life.
Tutoring center saved
the tutoring center? Yeah. Something I probably should have taken more advantage of myself.
I have. They've definitely kept my head above water for sure.
Free resource for students.
Free, so many resources.
Small plug for the tutoring center. If you're listening.
Free tutors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take advantage of that tutoring center.
Yeah.
The SGA president has a seat on the Rowan-Cabarrus Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know that going into it?
A little.
A little. That's not. They don't lead with that. They don't lead with that.
That wasn't the selling point.
So, what does that mean for you, though? What does it feel like to know that your voice has room in that space?
It is so humbling. Because prior to coming to campus and starting as a student, I would have never paid anybody to make me believe that I was able to be in those spaces, like somebody like me, you know. And it just goes to show what support looks like and how transparent this college is with their students. And that is, I haven't heard too many colleges that allow students in that space. So that goes to show how much they believe in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive to hear all the things that are going on that we as students have not a clue. We don't know. And the fact that they want us to know is pretty amazing.
Yeah, our board is made up of individuals from both counties.
So many kind of awesome
leaders in the community. Yeah. But yeah, for as long as I can remember, the SGA president has a seat on that board to be the voice for the students and the conversations that are steering what direction the college takes with big decisions and big conversations. The student voice is right there. And
they want to know what we think.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And Carter, to that point, Jaworski earlier made a comment that student life is not solely pizza and a party. While those things are good. But this is a great example of that and of providing access to students. And so while the SGA president is the only student who has a seat, that is an opportunity of access that's open to all students if they choose to pursue a leadership position. Yeah. And that relationship, that seat at the table, it goes beyond the role of the SGA president. I'm confident that Nicky will have the opportunity to start building relationships with prominent community members. And that's the exciting part for me to sit back and watch, to know that she is at the table, yes, representing the student body, taking information back to the student body, but what is happening? What is the impact after she graduates and once she leaves? Those relationships don't just end simply because she's no longer the SGA president. And that's unique, it's special, and most importantly, it's exciting to sit back and watch as the director.
We've seen ridiculous amounts of growth from some of our SGA presidents over the years.
Yep.
And Nicky, you're coming in like a very strong leader
coming
already.
In like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I think you have more grace than that.
I think so. Thank you, George.
More grace than that.
Thank you.
This is going to be a great year. With the SGA president, correct me if I'm wrong, is it a 1-year term?
Okay. It is 1 year.
So if you're listening and you're like, man, this sounds like something I would be interested in, what would you say to somebody that would like to pursue some of these opportunities?
Just go for it. Closed mouths don't get fed. You're going to be supported and you're going to have all these credentials on your resume. Whether you go to work after here or you go to another college, it's going to look good for you.
Yeah.
It's going to look real good for you. Go be great.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to start with running for SGA president next year. It starts with
so many entry-level positions, just getting involved. So many ways to do something to impact you later. So many different ways.
So what's your vision for this year as SGA president?
I have a couple. My biggest one right now, we just went and I was supported. I went and spoke so that way we can have the funding that we need for our South Campus because we are busting at the seams with students and we need more space and we need the technologies and we need these things that we all get while we're here. And there are so many people trying to get in here. Let's expand. Let's help them too instead of making them put their lives on hold.
Yeah.
Waiting on classes, That and also being more aligned as an SGA with our civic duties, working more with our wellness center for the pantry. And we have a SOAR program. Just support them more because, our slogan is navigate forward and that means all of us. So I want to make sure that everybody on this campus knows that they are a part of it.
Yeah, the two words that come to mind here, and you discuss this, your vision is engagement and support.
Yes.
Get involved, but we're not going to let you fail.
No, the only way you fail here is if you really just don't show up to do it. That's the only way you can fail.
I'll just add with that, Amber, myself, Dr. Graham, we're here to support our students. If you have the desire to lead, the desire to engage, the desire to be more, do more, we're here to support you. Even if it falls outside of our area, we're going to connect you with the right people to get you the support that you need.
Yeah. And I will brag on you and your counterpart, Amber, as student life activity coordinators. Just a couple weeks ago, there was a student on campus who popped up that day and she was getting her ID badge and y'all just stopped everything you were doing and gave her like a quick tour around campus. Just a brand new student coming in. straight out of high school, and made her feel extremely comfortable, I could tell, and gave her some resources for how she can get involved with student life. And I love how what I saw in that moment was just no matter what's going on, y'all's number one priority is always going to be student connections and student engagement and making sure that people feel comfortable, they feel like they belong, they feel supported. So just want to brag on you guys for that.
Yes.
That was pretty cool to see.
I can't tell you how many times I've walked into Amber Jaworski's office and there could be almost a dumpster fire and they're like, how can we help you? It's fine. Don't worry. What do you need?
Always students first.
Always.
So.
You know, Carter, I'm so happy that you acknowledged Amber and Jaworski. I also want to spotlight the two of them as they've been here much longer than I have, and to identify their level of creativity in supporting students, it continues to blow me away. Yeah. It really does. I will say they throw good parties. I am impressed. They do throw a good party, but as it relates to being strategic and being intentional around how do we support the collective student body and the individuals consistently week to week, I am impressed by their efforts. I don't think that they get the acknowledgement that they deserve because they go quietly about their business, such as this is a period where students are registering for classes and they said, Dr. Graham, we got to get going. And I said, well, where are you going? What's happening? We got to get some snacks out for the students to make them comfortable while they're waiting to be helped by navigation or financial aid. And that's not a big thing, but it's that small detail that supports the families as well as the students. And again, I am so honored to not only be at the college, but to truly work with great people and to watch how they support Nicky as the SGA president. Student life is where it's at. It really is.
Nicky, you're in good hands.
It's like all state over here. Well, I'm always going to be in good hands.
Yes.
But it's hard to always keep the big vision but also not lose sight of the individuals.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
They do a good job with that. So.
They really do.
So along those lines, Dr. Graham, as you move into this new role with the college, what are you most excited to build or strengthen within student life? What does a thriving student experience look like to you?
Yeah, well, given the other institutions that I've been at, a thriving experience for students is one where students are consistently engaged in ways that matter to them. So it's not only about what the staff think is important, but it's what's important to them. And I looked at the list, the multiple pages of activities that Amber and Jaworski have planned for the 26-27 year. So there are more than enough activities. I don't need to have a hand in that, but taking a bird's eye view and thinking strategically, what are some opportunities for expansion? How can we be more intentional around serving our students who are parents, those individuals who are mid-career or older and they're at the second career stage? How can we engage them in the true experience of a college student while acknowledging their life responsibilities as well? And so that's not a day-to-day planning activity, but it's a very different level of perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm honored and excited. I'm really excited to be able to do that level of work.
Awesome. Well, we're very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And I know you've hit the ground running as well.
It's
Between you and Nicky in these new roles, it's going to be a blast.
Growing together. We're at different stages of our career, but it's growing together, and that's always fun.
So, Nicky, last question for you as we close out our time today. For a student listening right now who has been thinking about getting more involved but hasn't taken the first step, what would you say to them?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Go back to that.
Just plain and easy. Think about it too much, you might not do it. So give yourself that opportunity. Put yourself in a position where you're able to be in these spaces, in these rooms, and know that you're valued is pretty impressive to me.
My first experience with college was at a community college, and I went in with a poor attitude going into it. And I know, right? And my biggest regret is I didn't do what you just said. Like, here we are 20 years later, and I'm still one of my biggest regrets with my educational experiences. I didn't get involved. I didn't say yes to things, and I didn't get connected. Who knows what college could have looked like after that if I just said yes to a few things. So I just want to second your advice. Just do it. Just
I
get
didn't
involved.
come here, I didn't get to that mindset by myself. It was definitely encouraged. I definitely heard a lot of people speaking wisdoms. We've had so many like seminars and just hearing things, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And one of the bigger ones, we had, what was that,
Our lead conference.
Fearless. Don't be fearless, because you might get yourself into something. But but fearless. Just do the thing. Just do the thing.
Good to have a healthy amount of fear. That just means you're stepping
Yes.
outside your comfort zone.
And you'll keep your pulse.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But that's
okay to
good
be
though. Like
scared.
if you're a little nervous, a little timid, that means you're trying something new.
The fear of the unknown is
Yeah.
bigger than the actual task itself.
Absolutely.
To overcome that part of you that says, I don't know what that looks like, is a conquest in itself. So just keep going. Like Dory said, just keep
Just
swimming.
keep swimming. Nice. Well, on that note, on a Finding Nemo reference.
You're welcome for that.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
great. So student life at Rowan-Cabarrus is what you make of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and as today's conversation shows, there are people here who are ready to help you make the most of it. So whether you want to join a club, attend an event, or step into a leadership role, the door is open. You just have to walk through it.
That's it.
So to learn more about the Student Government Association, student clubs, and events at Rowan-Cabarrus, you can visit www.rccc.edu/studentlife, or you can email Jaworski and Amber King at studentlife@rccc.edu, and they can get you plugged in and in the right place. So thank you all for joining us for this episode of Trail Mix.
Get involved.
Thank you, Carter.
Thank you,
for
Carter.
having
It was fun.
me.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to Trail Mix. For more stories, updates, and to learn more about how Rowan-Cabarrus Community College can help you navigate forward, visit us at www.rccc.edu. Before we go, this episode marks 1 year of Trail Mix, and it's genuinely been a privilege to share these stories with you. From students discovering the transfer opportunities waiting for them after Rowan-Cabarrus, to exploring how tools like Grammarly are shaping the way we think about AI in the classroom, to hearing directly from faculty and students about what learning looks like today. This past year reminded us why these conversations matter. If there's a story you think we should be telling, reach out to us at marketing@rccc.edu and let us know. There's a lot more coming in a year or two. Thanks for being a part of it.